This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV for Monday, February 5th, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and then please guarantee we never get canceled. I'll tell you how to do that after the break. Topic number 5 today, war in the Middle East. The United States struck back at targets inside Iraq and Syria over the weekend. Airstrikes against 85 targets connected to Iran-backed militia groups. Reportedly more than 40 dead. This in retaliation for the deadly strike on the U.S. base in Jordan called Tower 22, leaving 3 soldiers dead, more than 40 injured there. These strikes included the use of long-range B-1 stealth bombers flown all the way from the United States to the other side of the world. On Sunday, the U.S. launched a strike against Houthi anti-ship missiles based in Yemen. This was reportedly against a battery that was ready to launch missiles against U.S. ships in the Red Sea. This according to U.S. Central Command. The strike was carried out Sunday morning local time, described as being carried out in self-defense. Central Command said this was not a continuation of the coalition strikes that were part of the retaliatory strikes that hit about 36 targets inside Yemen, in addition to the targets in Syria and Iraq. Now, officials in Iran, Iraq, Syria, all condemning the attacks, alleging that the United States is only further inflaming tensions in the region. Undoubtedly, that is true. Where this all leads, we have yet to see. Topic number 4, interesting story. Indigenous peoples for Israel. A group of indigenous leaders from around the world opened an embassy in Jerusalem last week. This took place Thursday. The stated purpose is to recognize Jews as indigenous to Israel. This runs directly counter to the principal Arab narrative that the Jews are latecomers, interlopers, only there since the early 20th century and have no claim to the land. I mean, if you listen to the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, the Dome of the Rock, which sits on the spot of Solomon's Temple on the Temple Mount, was built by Adam. I'm not making that up. Anyway, this event attended by 200 people, including ambassadors from around the world. This is the 100th embassy to open in the state of Israel, the 5th to open in Jerusalem, which is the nation's capital. I have to confess, growing up here in the United States, whenever the media here would report on things from Jerusalem, or from Israel rather, it would refer to Tel Aviv as the capital. You know, the latest decision from Tel Aviv, blah, 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 just as they use Washington as a stand-in for the White House or for the president. It wasn't until late adulthood, actually, that I realized that Jerusalem is and always has been the capital of the Jewish state, but I digress. Anyway, this Indigenous Coalition for Israel, or the ICFI, their embassy is going to be housed inside the Friends of Zion Museum in a historic neighborhood in Jerusalem. Sharon and I have visited the Friends of Zion Museum twice now. Very interesting. The embassy doesn't officially represent any national government, but it will open with strong expressions of support from indigenous leaders from around the world, including American Samoa, Australia, the Cook Islands, Fiji, Hawaii, New Caledonia, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Singapore, Solomon Islands, Tahiti, Taiwan, and Tonga, as well as chiefs of certain Native American tribes and paramount chiefs from South Africa. Again, this runs counter to the narrative, not just from the Arab world, but also from the United Nations regarding Jewish claim to an ancestral homeland in Israel. Topic number 3, Freedom Convoy. News not really being reported. Well, it is being reported, but of course with a slant from the corporate media. The Take Back Our Border Convoy reached the Texas-Mexico border Friday night, showing support for the government of the state of Texas in its standoff with the White House over control of the border between the U.S. and Mexico. And if you want to use the word radical, I think you could apply it more to the people in Washington, D.C. who are dictating policy to Customs and Border Protection. Dozens of videos posted on X, formerly Twitter, showed the convoy arriving at the Cornerstone Children's Ranch in Quemado, Texas, late Friday night. This is about a quarter of a mile from the border. Take Back Our Border leader Dr. Pete Chambers and Senate candidate Ben Luna, is a Republican running for Senate in New Mexico, joined Fox on Friday morning, warned about the out-of-control migrant crisis. By some estimates, 10 to 11 million illegals crossing into the country since Joe Biden became president. Legacy corporate media automatically bashed working-class Americans who want a common-sense border policy as part of a and again, here's the evidence right here, referring to the far-right convoy protesting migrant crisis. The Take Back Our Border Convoy, already a complete mess. Texas border showdown, far-right magnet to the corporate media and its controllers in Washington, D.C., the deep state. Anyone who wants a protected and sensible border policy is considered a far-right insurrectionist. Topic number 2, California dreaming. On January 1st of this year, as we've told you, the state of California is offering free health care to illegal migrants. This was thanks to Assembly Bill 133, signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom in July of 2021. The cost to the state, $4 billion a year, as an estimated more than 750,000 illegal migrants added to the already overstuffed rolls of California's equivalent of Medicare called Medi-Cal. 14.6 million Californians already on the list, add another 764,000. Now, this all was signed into law 3 years ago when the state of California enjoyed about a $100 billion budget surplus. It is now, in that period of time, shrunk to a negative $38 billion. Yes, a $38 billion deficit. This according to the budget proposal put forward by Governor Newsom on January 10th. If you believe that, his accounting is correct. Other estimates put the budget deficit at closer to $60 billion. Anyway, Senate Bill 277 has now been introduced by State Senator Maria Elena Durazo of Los Angeles. This would give unemployment compensation to illegal migrants. According to an analysis by the Assembly Appropriations Committee, the bill establishes until January 1st, 2027, upon appropriation by the legislature, the Excluded Workers Program, administered by the Employment Development Department, or the EDD, to provide income assistance to workers ineligible for unemployment insurance benefits, end quote. Now, here's the problem. Healthcare involves an actual physical patient showing up at a doctor's office with an actual physical malady, at least in theory. It makes it a little more difficult to file fraudulent claims. You got to have somebody there in the doctor's office with a problem to file for Medi-Cal. But giving unemployment benefits to illegals would make a system that is already rife with fraud even easier to scam. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, as of January 24th of this year, the EDD in California still owes the federal government about $20 billion that were borrowed to pay for the fraud committed on its system during the unemployment crisis caused by the COVID-19 lockdowns. And the state of California now already with a $58 billion budget deficit, doubling down on the program and opening it up to unemployed illegals, people not even in the country legally. The state of California burying itself under a mound of debt, but I guess sustaining the state budget. They're trying to sustain the state budget on their sense of, self-righteousness. Well, coming up, elections have consequences. You knew that. We'll explain more details, more evidence thereof coming up, and details on Skywatch TV's upcoming virtual conference, Countering the Darkness, straight ahead on 5 and 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make you aware of an opportunity to get 3 DVDs right now in the brand new Silent Pandemic collection. Now, this collection includes 3 DVDs. So let's back up just for a second. First, you're going to receive the brand new DVD, Viral Defense, evidence-based methodology for optimizing your immunity against COVID-19, long COVID, spike proteins, and future viral outbreaks, along with the new DVD, Fight Back Against Alzheimer's, Dementia, MCI, and Cognitive Decline. But you're also going to receive the over 5-hour DVD, My Classic Time Bomb, which features off-the-record interviews with professionals in healthcare, Dr. Matthew Sams, Dr. Ralph Umbriaco, Dr. Josh Vance, and contains the original interview with my father from a couple of years ago, where he actually talked about how he reversed his type 2 diabetes with natural supplementation and change to lifestyle. All 3 of these DVDs actually total almost 10 hours for those interested in improving their gut health, their overall immunity, learning how to watch labels and how to better navigate grocery stores, what is going on with spike proteins and shed spike protein residues, all of this anomalistic stuff that's happening out there in the stratosphere. But if you're one who does not have a DVD player, this is something I've learned over the last year or so. There's a lot of people migrating away from DVD. So Skywatch TV is also going to take this occasion to let you know that moving forward, as often as we can, which hopefully is each time we have a guest with a DVD or we put one out ourselves, we're also going to ask you to go to skywatchtv.com/stream for the streaming options. Now, this will get you out of having to pay for shipping. If you're a person who doesn't want the DVD sitting on a shelf somewhere, you're not a collector, you don't need the physical copy, but you want to see the content. So if you want the DVD copies of all three of these right now while supplies last, you can get the Silent Pandemic Collection in physical copy for your donation of $35 plus shipping and handling. But if you want to stream these, go to skywatchtv.com/stream. You will see a couple of different options. First, you can stream just Fight Back Against Alzheimer's for $15, or you can stream the Viral Defense DVD by itself for $20, or you can stream all three, which total the 10 hours that I just mentioned on all of the above, for only $20 right now in a special Silent Pandemic bundle right now.
Topic number one today, yes, elections have consequences. Case in point, state of New York, city of New York. This came out during a broadcast on CNN this past week where host Erica Hill was taken by surprise while discussing a recent story involving 4 illegal migrants in New York City who allegedly beat up 2 police officers in Times Square. They have now been released by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who said that even the video evidence showing these 4 men pummeling the 2 officers while they were on the ground, not sufficient to hold them, keep them in custody. The 4 men have now fled the state, reportedly, for California. One of them famously caught on video now, flipping off reporters who were outside covering the story. Soft on crime? Well, this is what you get. Sadly, John Miller, their crime reporter, discussed the consequences of soft on policing policies, such as those embodied by the Manhattan DA's office under Alvin Bragg. He told Hill that gangs of illegal immigrants running crime rings in New York, organized retail theft, are taking their ill-gotten gains to Florida, where they're spending the money, and then returning to New York. Hill said, what? And so Miller repeated, and I quote, "So what detectives are telling me is they have crews here that operate in New York, do all their stealing, then go to Florida to spend the money, and then come back." I'm like, why don't they just stay and steal in Florida? And they said, because there you go to jail. So the people of New York deal with the consequences of voting for candidates who push progressive policies when it comes to crime. Yes, elections do have consequences. And sadly, the people of New York are having to deal with them. This week on Skywatch TV, we talk about a silent pandemic, talking about dementia and Alzheimer's disease. This is something that affects a lot of families, hits a lot of us close to home. Joe Artis Horn has prepared some information in video form that is really helpful. How do we deal with this? Is there a way to deal with this outside of traditional Western medicine? Can we get some good, bring some relief to our family members, loved ones who are suffering from this? It's hard to watch somebody you love go through this and just lose themselves in this disease. It is a cruel, cruel disease. Don't miss the program. It's available right now to watch at our website, skywatchtv.com. You can watch it at Apple TV or Roku. And you can also catch it now at the Skywatch TV YouTube channel for the main program at Skywatch TV Now, rumble.com/SkywatchTV. You can also see it, best of all, at our mobile app. Why best of all? Because it bypasses the gatekeepers. Guarantees we will never get canceled. Brings all of our video content right to your smartphone or tablet. If you've got a smart TV, odds are you can cast the video directly from your mobile device to your big screen using Google's Chromecast or Apple's AirPlay. So you don't even need wires to do that. As long as they're both on the Wi-Fi, you're good to go. We've got links to the app stores for these devices: iOS, Android, Amazon, Kindle Fire phones and tablets. at our website, skywatchtv.com. Coming up in just a few weeks, Skywatch TV's next virtual conference, Countering the Darkness. You don't want to miss this one, because this one features Tom Horn's last presentation, recorded last fall before he took ill. This goes live on February 29th. You get 90 days access to all of the content, which includes all 6 Skywatch Films feature-length documentaries. But speakers such as, besides Tom Horn, Rabbi Jonathan Kahn, Pastor Carl Gallups, Rabbi Zev Porat, Dr. Judd Burton, Ryan Pitterson, Vicki Joy Anderson, Joe Horn, Donna Howell, Sharon, and me as well. Many others. You get the complete list at defenderconference.com. Registration is $95, but when you register by February 15th, take advantage of this. Register by the 15th and you get $10 early bird discount. Again, defenderconference.com. Countering the Darkness, the new virtual conference from Skywatch TV. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.